When Infiniti first arrived in the UK in 2009, it failed to make an impression, but this new Q30 could be set to change that. Originally, Nissan's luxury division tried to convince British buyers to invest in thirsty V6 and V8 petrols. Unsurprisingly, it didn't work. The Q30, however, has been designed and built here in Great Britain, Sunderland to be precise, and with more frugal engines. It's a handsome car too, daring to be different from its premium compact German rivals, the Audi A3, BMW 1 Series and Mercedes A-Class. Interestingly, Infiniti has positioned the Q30 in between the hatch and crossover segment, which is why it has a slightly higher ride height than its rivals. In terms of boot size, it's smaller than the A3 but bigger than the Mercedes and BMW. The seats fold flat, which is handy, but the sloping rear tailgate steals some of that height. There is, though, plenty of headroom for all passengers, but tall adults will find their knees brushing the back of the front seats, and the middle seat is only really suitable for children. The overall impression of the Q30's dash is that it's just as distinctive as the exterior styling. But if you look closely, you will see parts such as the dials, this indicator stalk and even the gear lever are taken straight from the Mercedes A-Class. One criticism I would have though is that storage is a little bit limited, and that's why the banana is off sick today. Sadly, it doesn't use the Mercedes infotainment system, instead getting this fiddly touchscreen with its confusing menus. Standard equipment is lacking too, with base models missing out on DAB radio and sat-nav. It's not just the switchgear that the Q30 shares with the A-Class. The chassis, suspension and engines all come from Mercedes, thanks to a technical collaboration between it and Nissan. To confuse matters further, the most popular engine, the 1.5-litre diesel, fitted to this car, comes from Renault. With a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 12 seconds, it's not too fast. But there is a good slug of mid-range torque, so overtaking is possible, and it's not too noisy either. Other engines include a 2.2-litre diesel or a 1.6 or 2-litre petrol. We'd recommend the 7-speed automatic over this 6-speed manual because this gearbox can be a bit obstructive. And it's worth noting, if you'd like 4-wheel drive instead of 2-wheel drive, you'll have to go for one of the larger, more expensive engines. This is also the sport version, which has weightier steering and lowered suspension, but it's still not very sporty, so we'd recommend sticking with the standard model because that plays to the strengths of the Q30, its best asset being the brilliantly comfortable ride. No version of the Q30 will be as fuel efficient as its rivals. However, with a claimed fuel economy figure of 69 miles per gallon and a real world figure of 55, this 1.5-litre diesel is still going to be cheap to run. Plus, it outperformed all its rivals in crash tests. Prices start at £20,500, but that's for the poorly equipped entry-level petrol model. Instead, we'd advise spending £2,000 more to get a diesel in premium specification. Time will tell if the Q30's residual values stand up against the competition. What we can tell you though is the Q30 is definitely the most compelling car that Infiniti has offered to date. Whilst our favourite in this class is still an Audi A3, if you fancy something a little bit different, then the Q30 is definitely worth a look. Click here to watch our review of the BMW 1 Series, here to watch our review of the Mercedes A-Class, here to subscribe to the Telegraph Cars YouTube channel, and of course to read in-depth reviews of other new cars on the market, visit the Telegraph Cars website by clicking here.